Hello students, this is our second lesson in the series of learning theories. In the previous lesson, we talked about the classical conditioning theory given by Ivan Pavlov. And today, we will talk about the operant conditioning theory given by B.F. Skinner. B.F. Skinner was an American psychologist. He worked as a professor of psychology in Harvard University. The Skinner was of a view that classical conditioning was far simplistic to explain the complex human behavior. He believed that the best way to understand the behavior is to look at the causes of an action and its consequences. He called this approach operant conditioning. Skinner defined behavior in two types. One is respondent and the other one is operant. He said that respondent behaviors are those behaviors which are elicited by the stimuli of the environment that are well known and can be identified easily. These behaviors are involuntary and automatic. The organism has no control over it. For example, salivation, sweating, etc. Operant behaviors, on the other hand, are those which are not caused by any specific stimuli of the environment. The stimuli of the operant behavior are difficult to identify. Skinner was of the opinion that behavior of human beings are predominantly operant in nature. Skinner was a practical psychologist who conducted several experiments on rats and on pigeons. For that, he also developed a puzzle box to keep that animal inside the box. In one of his experiments, he kept a hungry rat inside the Skinner box. The rat was initially inactive inside the box, but gradually, as it began to adapt to the environment of the box, it began to explore around. Eventually, the rat discovered a lever, upon pressing which food was released inside the box. After it filled its hunger, it started exploring the box again, and after a while, it pressed the lever for the second time, as it grew hungry again. This phenomena continued for several times, and after a while, the hungry rat immediately pressed the lever once it was placed in the box. Then the condition was deemed to be complete. Here, the action of pressing the lever is an operant behavior, and the food released inside the chamber is the reward. So, Skinner defined operant conditioning as a learning in which a voluntary response is strengthened or weakened depending on its favorable or unfavorable consequences. Skinner defined some more terms related to his operant conditioning theory. One was reinforcement. Reinforcement is the process by which a stimulus increases the probability that a preceding behavior will be repeated, and the stimulus will be known as the reinforcer. For example, in the above experiment, the food pellet worked as the reinforcement and the food worked as the reinforcer. Then further, Skinner defined the reinforcer in two categories. One is positive reinforcer and the second is negative reinforcer. Skinner said that the main motive of using reinforcer is to increase the behavior, be it a positive reinforcer or a negative reinforcer. Positive reinforcer will be that stimulus added to the environment that brings about an increase in a preceding response. For example, in a classroom, when any student gives correct answer, the teacher gives a chocolate. In that case, that chocolate is the reinforcer. Whereas the negative reinforcer is an unpleasant stimulus whose removal leads to an increase in a preceding response. For example, if a teacher says in the classroom that the students who will do the classwork properly, they will not have to do the homework. Here, the unpleasant stimulus is homework, and removing of it can make the doing of classwork proper. Now, the next one is punishment. Punishment is used to decrease the behavior. It means it is a stimulus that decreases the probability of having a preceding behavior. Uh, we can understand it with this chart. The main motive of the reinforcement is to increase the behavior, whereas the main motive of the punishment is to decrease the behavior. We can say that intended result of a reinforcement is increase in behavior, and intended result of the punishment is to decrease the behavior. Now, Skinner also defined some schedules to be used for the reinforcement. The first one was continuous reinforcement schedule. In that case, if a person is doing a particular behavior and the reinforcement is given after occurring of the behavior every time, in that case the reinforcement can be considered as the continuous reinforcement. The second one is partial reinforcement schedule, that he further subdivided into fixed interval, fixed ratio and variable reinforcement schedules. In fixed interval schedule, reinforcement is delivered at predictable time intervals, that is after 10 minutes, 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Whereas in fixed ratio schedules, reinforcement is given only after a specific number of responses are made. It means the teacher decides that he or she will reinforce only after student has done the 5 correct sums. And the variable schedule is that schedule in which nothing is fixed. Reinforcement can occur at a varying number of responses. After that, Skinner also defined a very important term, that is shaping. Shaping is a process of teaching a complex behavior by rewarding closer and closer approximation of the desired behavior. Skinner argues that the principles of operant conditioning can be used to produce extremely complex behavior if rewards and punishments are delivered in such a way as to encourage move on organism closer and closer to the desired behavior each time. To this, the conditions required to receive the reward should shift each time the organism moves a step closer to the desired behavior. According to Skinner, most animals and human behavior can be explained as a product of this type of successive approximation. Now we will talk about the classroom implication of this operant conditioning theory. A teacher can use the reinforcement like praise, grades, etc. to motivate the students to achieve more. In the classroom, the if teacher praises a student for a job done immediately, then it can be a stronger reinforcer. The schools should practice the principle of operant conditioning to destroy the elements of fear from the school atmosphere by using the positive reinforcement. Desired behavior of students should be reinforced at once to increase the likelihood of reoccurrence of this behavior in future. Thank you.